sales champions. Welcome back to Blackwood Academy's sales tips of the day. Today we're going to dive into how to create a killer cold calling script. Now that doesn't, we don't want a cold call. It's just a script that sounds good on paper and looks really nice. We want actually something that works, something that's going to yield results. And a script is something that is like your best friend in a cold call. Like in any kind of call, sales situations, a good script is something you can always lean on. And if you suddenly feel like you're getting off the path, or however you want to call it, you can always revert back to the script. You'll see this in my course on Udemy called the path. It's kind of the same kind of idea that you have a path that you're trying to take your client from A to Z, from start to close. And you need to kind of know what path you're going. And a script can always help you kind of stay on track if you feel like you're losing your way. It should keep you confident, natural, and just ready to handle anything that the prospect is going to throw your way. So by the end of the video, you'll have a clear kind of framework for creating a script, how to grab their attention, how to build a little trust, overcome these objections. And what we're going to be doing there is using the proven method of feel, felt, found. Some of you have maybe already heard it, already using it, but it's always good to get it, revisit it, kind of, dust it off and get it back in usage if you haven't been. It's a really good method of handling kind of any objection. And then we're going to go for the clear ask. What is it that you're going to ask them for, and how are you going to do it? So if we start off with just the first part, which would be how do we hook them in? So the first few seconds are going to be crucial on any call. And you don't want to, just bore your prospect right out of the step. You want to try to, get them hooked, get them hanging on. And you don't want to be doing necessarily like a boring introduction. Just go for something straight engaging. Look, sometimes it is just the fact that you're going to be going, hey, John, how's your day going? Do you have a couple of minutes for me? And that's not too bad. And it's not but it's more something you would use if you're going to do 50, 60 calls a day. And you could do that, and that's just going to become like a little bit of a numbers game. What I would suggest is you could go, something in the direction of hey, John, I noticed that you just started working there. Like, for example, if I was doing for insurance brokerage, selling them, advice for insurance, how to build up, how to get the right coverage, how to get the right prices. And one time I did kind of target new CFOs in companies. So that was a great kind of line to get in. So I used to go something in the direction of, hey, John, first of all, congratulations on the new job. I see that you just started there a couple of months ago. You can see this in Sales LinkedIn Navigator. And I know for your more veterans out there, this is going to be kind of something you already know. But for you new guys, this is a great way of maybe trying to, hook someone in. So if you're selling some sort of a consultancy or a product, finding CFOs or CEOs or whoever is going to be buying your product that just started at the company, maybe been a couple of months in, they usually want to shake things up. So it also kind of demonstrates that you have already done kind of research, and it makes the call feel a little bit more relevant. It's something that just kind of, hooks them in. Like, this guy did his homework. A lot of the time when I was working for this insurance broker, I'll be targeting new CFOs at companies because they want to kind of shake things up. And I would just start the call, like I said, with, hi, John, before we start, congratulations on your new job. And a lot of them were like, wow, you really did your homework, or wow, how did you know that? Or hi, how did you find out? And it just makes you look and feel a lot more like an expert. And remember the tonality. So this is going to make them a little bit curious and almost give them a reason not to hang up. And it is one of those things that you just want to find that little interesting hook that you just don't go in, hey, do you have 2 minutes? You can, but that's usually just an intro, not even the hook. That would be more like what you call an intro, where you're just going, hey, do you have 2 minutes? Being polite. But if you can, it could be something like, if you've done your research, that you can go like, hey, John, I noticed that you guys just, expanded into this industry or this market. How's it been going for you guys? And that will depend, like, and as we talked about yesterday, it is a numbers game. Sometimes you're going to get a guy that just, woke up, spilled his coffee on his favorite tie and his shirt, and just having a bad day, and you're not going to get through. He's just not in the mood for this at all. So, and sometimes you're going to get a guy that just found out that he's going to be a father, and it's his birthday, and he had a great morning, and he's just, even if you're bad, it's just gonna hook him in because he's just in that kind of mood. So this is all, again, just to try to get your percentages up, try to get your, your, yeah, your pitches or your hits a little bit above. So let's look at the next one. So the next one would be building trust, building rapport. So when people are buying, they buy it because of three reasons. And these are the three reasons that you need to get in through the script for them to buy. So they have to first like the company you work for, they have to like the product that you're selling, and they have to like you. So if you can get them on all these three things, you're in. Like then, they're gonna buy or book a meeting or whatever ever the goal is exactly that you're trying to do. So you want to have those things in place. So building rapport. So once you got their attention, you got them going in. You want to take a moment and connect with them on a personal level. You could do that with what we were talking about before. So if they're new at the job, if they're a new CEO, new CFO, new sales manager, whatever it is that you're calling exactly, you could expand on it. How is it going at the new job? How are you fitting in? Are you getting all your ducks in a row? Then you're already kind of building rapport there. And what you can do, for example, is also, that's great to hear. If the first question was, hey, John, congratulations on the new position. How are things going there? And he goes, oh, thank you so much. How did you know? You could say, I saw it on LinkedIn or whatever it is. You don't have to be secretive about it. And, then you can go on to going, that's great to hear. A lot of businesses I talk to in the industry are seeing a similar trend or similar growth. It just shows you that you understand their world and they position you as someone who is there to help and not to sell. And this is one of those things that, like when I was doing the insurance thing, because that's just top of mind right now, they changed the law at one point. So insurance premiums went up. So we use that as kind of like a hook as well, and to demonstrate expertise that, look, we noticed that this summer the rules on premiums for insurance was in what the damage insurances for employees have gone up. You might have seen that on your bills, and they maybe didn't even know about it, but they've seen the rise in the bill, so they would go yes. So it could be anything else that you really find. This, of course, depends on the industry and where you work at. So building a report doesn't have to take long, but it makes a very huge difference in how everything is going to go after that. It's the foundation of trust. It's the highlight of, like, I'm not just here to just trying to pressure you into buying something. It's building up that connection, however you want to call it, and it's very, very, very valuable. And sometimes forgotten when people are trying to do the numbers game and just want to get to the next one if they don't hook this one in. Next step would be highlighting the values. So highlighting the values would be, sorry about that, highlighting the values would be somewhere on the step of like showcasing what is it that you bring to the table. Now you establish rapport and it's time to explain why you're calling. Uh, but there's a key and there's a focus. It needs to be what's in it for them. So and that's the whole reason. It's like, um, why are you calling? Well, we help companies like you reduce downtime. We help you save thousands of dollars every year by optimizing something, the process, the machinery. Would this be something worth exploring? Would you want to check this out? And now you're changing a little bit from the rapport. Like I said, if he's a new CFO in the company, you could have gone on like, how is it going? Are you getting everything in line? Have you looked into this or this things and how have they been progressing? And then he goes, yeah, 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 chit chat, chit chat. And then you can move into like, well, look, like we help companies like yours reduce the cost of insurance, but it's not just about that. We are also, an advisor that helps you that if things go wrong, we're going to be there for you. Have you guys looked at your insurance premiums in the last maybe year or two? Have you been, on top of what you're paying, how your coverage is? So, and now now you're kind of highlighting the value of that. You're not just there to save them money, which of course is a value, but you're also an advisor or someone that's going to be there for them if they need it. If you're selling a sales course like I would be doing, maybe with this, with Blackwood Academy, I would be highlighting as well that, like, hey, I train salespeople. I help them optimize their scripts, their calls, their tonality, so they get more hits and they get more sales in. But not just that, I'm also stay on as an advisor throughout the time that I'm there, so they can ask me questions. And if there's any questions about the sales process, I can also help there. So you're throwing in the value, and the more specific you can be about the problem that you're solving, the more likely they'll be, they'll keep listening. So it's not just about being generic and throwing something out, like throwing something at the wall and hope something sticks. Try to be a little bit more specific on what it is you're actually doing as a value add and why they should be listening to you. So that is something that's been really great for, like it worked wonders for the insurance business. That I didn't just go in and try to sell them that, look, we can save you money on the premium, but the added value of, like, look, we're going to be there for you, like we're the advisor that's going to help you. And if something, for god forbid, would help happen to your factory, your hotel, your business, and you're going to end up needing someone to help you get all the money that you should get from your insurance company, we're going to be there. So we're not just saving you money, we're also your last line of defense. And we're almost like a psychologist sometimes for companies. When they had a big kind of meltdown at a factory, or the hotel burst a pipe and everything was broken and ruined, we would almost need to work as a psychologist as well to show them that, like, look, you bought our service, you're safe, we got you. Yeah, so let's look at the next kind of thing would be handling objections. So you're not going to get everyone going in there going, well, look, I just want to buy your product. Like, I love this. This is done. So I heard somewhere, and I kind of have to agree with it, that selling doesn't really start until you hear the first objection. If you call someone and you just go, look, I have product A, and they go, oh, been looking for that. Thank you. Send me 10. That's not really selling, it's just order taking. But hey, look, we'll love those as well. So yeah, I'm not going to push that away. But the selling starts when, yeah, that's where the magic happens. So what we want to do with handling objections, just to give you a really fast like framework on it, because you should be seeing that when if you're doing calls, like you should write down every objection you get and find a way how best to answer that objection. And my preferable method, and I know that a lot of people use it, is a course like I talked about before, the Feel, Felt, Found framework. This works because it shows empathy, it shares relatable experience, and it offers a solution. So you could look at something like, you know, we try, like, if they don't have an insurance brokerage and they just do it on their own, and they go, we used a broker, but we kind of, didn't have quite a good experience with him, or, we didn't have, or if he even goes like, look, we have a broker and we just haven't really, felt the need to change. And then you just go, well, you know what? We actually work with a lot of companies that have seen has told us similar things, or you can even go felt a similar thing. Like, look, we already have a broker. Why would we need to do something about it? And what we found out with these guys is that when we take them through the process, we can often find massive amounts of savings, or even just a better coverage that wasn't covered before. And then they actually got a better coverage out of the end. They maybe covered something that wasn't covered before, and then when the damages happened, they of course were grateful that they had that second opinion. And really, if you think about it, what's the harm of somebody having a look at what they're doing and making sure that you're covered the right way? And this does a lot of the time just go into this, I feel what you're saying, others have felt it, this is what we found out. So the same thing is there. Clients have felt the same thing. We already have a broker. Why would we use a new one? This is what we found out. We did a second opinion look, and we found savings and more coverage that was better. And this is what the result was. And this is something that's just an easy framework for everyone to use. So, but let's say the prospect says something like, "I'm not interested." So here's like an example of how you could respond to that. So that would be, hey, listen, I completely understand how you feel. Cold calls can be sometimes, quite intrusive. You didn't ask for this. I'm calling out of nowhere. And in fact, a lot of my clients felt the same way. But what they found out is just they took 15 minutes to learn a little bit more about whatever specific benefits you guys have and actually saved them time and money in the long run. So would you be, open up for a quick chat just to see if this is a fit for you or not? And see how that works, and this is like showing them like you're not fighting them. You're not gonna be in the whole like you're wrong. This is not true. You never want to get into an argument with a client. Like even if he says like, well, we could use it, but it is expensive. You don't want to go, well, no, like it's not expensive. Now you're in an argument. What you want to do is rather like go, yeah, it is expensive. And here's the reasons why they're expensive. Like with insurance brokerage, because it's just, like I said, again, top of mind. It could be for anything else. If they go, well, your service is more expensive than the one that we're using. I don't want to go, no, it's not really, oh, you're wrong, or, well, that's not true. Because now, like I said, we're in an argument. We're not having a discussion. So what I would do rather instead is go, yeah, it is a little bit more expensive than what you are paying already, but the reasons why, and then you go back into the benefits and back into the value that you bring. It's because we have not just one yearly meeting where we go over things. It's because we do a lot of follow-up calls to ask about, how how things are going, if you've had any changes that need to be addressed. Let's think about something like how would you handle if, yeah, exactly, like already working with someone. There's other things that you can say there as well, like something like, that makes sense. It makes sense that you're working with another brokerage firm. I understand how you feel. Many of my clients felt the same way because they already had a provider or had an advisor or a brokerage firm or whatever it is. But what they found out is that, what they found was that by exploring our solution, they were able to, mention some like specific value benefit, save money, less time doing reports on, damages or something, whatever it is. Wouldn't it make a sense to at least have a quick look on how we compare before you make a decision? You have all the information at hand, and then you can make, your call from there. And yeah, so in the end, to go move on a little bit, the feel felt found method definitely helps to, it turns the objection into an opportunity because you're not arguing with them again. You're not going, no, that's not true. You're going, you know what? Others have felt this. I feel you. I understand what you're going through. Others have been in the same situation, and this is what they found out. And it gives you, like I said, it just changes it into an opportunity. It's not being pushy, it's being relatable, and you're offering some sort of value out of it in the end. So it's just an excuse to reframe it and turn it back to why are we valuable. So that is absolutely like a big valuable one. And you should always be like, if you don't have an objection list already, you should do 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, whatever it is, like a whole week of calls, 30 a day, so 150 calls. Write down every objection you get, and you're gonna have a list at the end of the week that's gonna tell you what the objections are in your industry, and you can then work out how you actually make these kind of answers for them and how you would kind of reframe them, and you can have that on paper. So next week when somebody says something like, well, you are quite expensive, or we already have a provider, or this, you have a list of things you can tell them back, and that's the script that will help you, and it will get you into that comfortable stage of, yeah, really never like having to think about it or go through the motion of like, oh shit, how do I answer this? You just look at the script and you go, bang, choose this response or that response. And after you've even done that, you can choose the response that has the best feedback. Like if you've done another 150 calls and you use three different answers to the certain ejection, then suddenly you have 50 on each and you can see what the hit rate is from and just go, you know what, this answer is actually the best one. So let's go through the next slide here. So to end the call, you're gonna have to do some. You're gonna have to ask them for something, right? I mean, we're not here just to chit chat and talk. You're gonna have to ask them for something. So we want to just leave, we don't want to leave the what's it called, the call or the talk with an open-ended question. We want to have some sort of result. And this is something you have to know before you do the script, but it's something you need to have a clear, like, what are we trying to do here? Like, are you selling subscription to a magazine and you want them to take the subscription there? Then that's the ask. That's the finale, how you end the call. Are you just like with insurance brokerage? It wasn't something you sell on the first call. You wanted to book a meeting and get into a deeper dive with them. So yeah, so you want to go into, if it is a magazine, if you try to sell something on like the first call, then you want to end when they're in a positive mode of going, if you have something to offer or something special, you want to end with the offer and go, look, it's been great talking to you. Feel like you're an avid fisherman and our fishing magazine would be perfect for you. Why don't we just, take the time, get you a subscription now. You get, the first 2 months for free, and you can see how this will help you catch more fish or, whatever, better camping trips or whatever the magazine is about. Like the insurance brokerage, and what you want to do is have something like, look, it's been great talking to you. I'd love to do a deeper dive with you in this, and I feel like you're on the same page. And I always like to go with an alternative assumptive close. So I would go into something in the aspect of, hey, John, it was great talking to you. And I can definitely see that we have some points that we need to explore further. Are you open for a quick 15, 20-minute call, video call with me and, the insurance brokerage that I work for, or, with me, whatever it is, next week? How about Tuesday or Thursday at 1 o'clock? Now, the reason for this is I give them the option. So it's the assumptive close. What? It sounds really good. I can hear that we should take a quick maybe meeting and explore this a little further and see if we can help you. And then the alternative option comes in with, are you free on Tuesday at 1 or maybe Thursday at 2? And this is to also get them in the track of mind that I want to take a meeting. It's not, if you ask them, hey, maybe we should take a meeting. Now you're making the question of, should I take a meeting? Do I want to take a meeting? Like, then they might have to then go into the old, like, oh, send me an email. Maybe let me think about it. But you're going to have a bigger hit rate if you just assume that they want to take a meeting with you, that they want to go further. So I would, like I say, always go with, hey, you know what? I love our chat little here. I would love to book you in with my insurance brokers, my boss, the experts, the account executive, or with me. Hey, John, it's been a great talk. I would love to dive deeper into this. Let's book a meeting. How are you next week on Tuesday or Thursday at 1 o'clock or 3 o'clock? So now you're already doing an assumption that yes, he wants to take a meeting, and then you go further and give him two alternatives, and it's gonna put them on the track of like, oh, I'm deciding between these two. There's a study that I saw which was really interesting about Coca-Cola and Pepsi. You always see like the two vending machines next to each other, and you would think that like, well, you don't want them next to each other because like, why are you putting yourself next to the competition? But what they found out is that actually people buy more if there's the two machines there because it changes the mind track from do I want a drink to which one of these two drinks do I want. So both of them sell more if they're next to each other. So the same thing is here. Look, you might still get, and probably will, well, I'm not quite ready to take a meeting. Can you send me some more information? And then you can go again into Feel Felt Found. Well, a lot of our clients actually, think a lot about this. They want to get more information on the email. But what we have found out is that it just doesn't really convey the messaging because there's a lot of questions that need to be answered. So there you can go back into the Feel Felt Found. So if you have a lot of people asking for just more information emails and then they kind of disappear, you again go into Feel Felt Found. Well, I feel you. Like, it would be actually kind of better to have the information on email, and it makes you feel like you could read a little bit more into it. But what we have found out that our clients have a lot of questions after the answer of the email because it's just a complicated subject. And we found out that the taking a 15-minute call is just actually going to save you time instead of reading the email and then taking the call. So why don't we just book a call next week, and we can see where we go from there. So yeah, you know what? That's a little bit longer video than we usually do, but I kind of got on a roll here, so I like it. To recap, the 5 steps of creating the cold call killer script here is hook their attention, build a report, highlight the value, handle objections using field felt found, end with a clear ask and the assumptive call, assumptive close and an alternative close. And I am sure that you're going to see that your numbers are going to get better, and they're going to get better with, practice, and just keep calling, keep calling, keep calling. Whenever I get a new salesperson in, or I'm training someone, I always tell them, like, look, you're gonna have to just go for it. Like, you're just gonna have to do 50, 60, 70 calls and test things out and see how they work. Yeah, otherwise you're not gonna get anywhere. You can study all you want, but it isn't until you go out there and actually swing the bat at some balls and see who you hit that you're gonna learn. So I hope you found these tips helpful. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, turn on the notification so you get these daily sales tips. And if you want to learn more about, techniques like field felt found, or get access to how to write a script and how to learn the mastering the cold call, you can check out the links below in the description for my course on Udemy for mastering the sales path. You can also look at blackwood-academy.com for our website. And let's crush those calls today. And I'll see you tomorrow for the next tip. And please, if you have any ideas of things you would like to hear me talk about, please comment below and I'll look into it. Thank you so much. And, let's get to calling.